Back in the Buff Dudes basement gym, and we are hitting stage 2, day 2 of the mobility band program. It is upper body, and I'm ready. Yeah. First exercise of the workout, it's going to be some bent over rows. Now this setup is fairly simple. You're just going to be grasping the band here, stepping on both sides here so that there's 2 loops on each end, grabbing those 2 loops, and you're going to get into the bent over position and pull those bands up. And you can kind of use your legs as a guideline of where to have your hands. Really get the elbows as high as possible. Pull the shoulder blades back and together.
I swear, doing these band workouts always surprises me with how difficult they are, especially on the concentric portion of the movement, because once you get to that top position, your muscles are fully contracted, but it also gets more difficult as you're pulling the band. So yeah, it's definitely a shock.
Oh, wow. Man, bringing that band to that fully contracted, getting those elbows up as high as possible. I mean, it really does feel like I'm rowing 225 pounds or so. You get that same kind of feeling, that really heavy barbell bent over row. But of course, you're just doing it with a band. So that's pretty amazing. Last set of these, and now we're gonna move on to some chest. Yeah. I'm gonna start with a little bit of the lighter band just to kind of feel it out. Usually we'll recommend that. Start with something lighter. Make sure you're getting the right positioning of the exercise. It feels good for you, especially when you're doing these high repetition stages where you're doing 15 repetitions. You wanna make sure you're able to get all the reps done properly in the right form. So chest press, you're just wrapping it around the upper back area. And you can see I'm just grabbing each loop end of the band and then pressing it straight out in front of you, just like a bench press. Good thing about these ones is you can really check your form in the mirror to make sure the angle of your elbows and your shoulders are correct. With these bands too, you'll see that since the band is wrapped around kind of the arm area, if you flare your elbows too much, the band's gonna wanna slip up. So it actually is kind of nice because it forces you to kind of tuck your elbows in a little bit more. That way you can really pull the shoulders back as well, because it's want to pull the shoulders back. So it really kind of puts you in the best position for a press as well. It really helps you with that positioning, which is really nice.
I swear, bands are one of the most deceiving pieces of workout equipment, because you look at us working out with these and you're like, oh, they're not doing that much, but trust me. Trust me!
On to the shoulder press now, and this position can be a little different to get into than maybe a standard dumbbell or barbell shoulder press. It's a little bit more finesse that goes into it, and since our ceilings are very low in this basement gym here, we're gonna do a kneeling variation of this one, and what you wanna do is anchor one side of the band on your knees here, and then you're just grasping just about shoulder width and pulling it into position here, but sometimes it takes a little effort to get it in the right place there. But once you do have the right place, you're essentially just performing a shoulder press here. And much like the chest press, where the band is kind of pushing your arms inward, it's kind of similar to this one, because you can see the band is placed on the outside of your arms there. So if you try to flare your arms, the band's gonna want to kind of push your arms back into this forward, the elbow in the forward position, which is actually a better position to be in for a shoulder press. So it actually helps you with the right angles and the positioning there, which is really nice. But once you're here, press straight up, and then nice and slow on the way down.
Can't do 15.
There's a good example of making sure you choose the right band. Went a little too heavy, but you know what? Sometimes that's what happens. It's all learning experience. Don't be down on yourself. All the compounds are done. Now we're on to the isolation movements. And the first one's gonna be the French press, which is focusing on the tricep, specifically the long head of the tricep, because we're really working into a stretch position, as you'll see here in a second. So what you're gonna wanna do is kneel on the bands, and you're gonna grasp them. I like to kind of do an underhand, just kind of grasp it here, so that way I can kind of pull it here, rotate, and then I'm perfectly in the right position for the French press. And as you can see right now, the triceps are in a very stretched position, and then you're just gonna extend just like so in your elbows and really get a good stretch in the triceps, and then utilize the triceps to extend your elbows and then get a good squeeze at the top. Now you don't necessarily have to get a full squeeze and lockout. You can kind of keep the tension in the triceps, stretch there, back down, just to really get that time under tension. We're at the full 15 repetitions. Ooh, and really feel those suckers burning. Ooh.
Damn.
Oh God, those were burning. Yeah, that time under tension can really, it's deceiving actually at first, because when you start doing that, like this is actually pretty easy, which I was actually thinking, I was like, oh, I'll probably go up in resistance in the band, but doing those 15 reps at that time under tension, really just working in that fluid motion, controlling the concentric and eccentric, damn, those suckers burning and getting pumped. Yeah.
I swear I'm always forgetting to breathe when I do my exercises. Doesn't make sense, does it?
Give her air. Michaela needs her air.
I just wanted to give you guys my best Brandon impression, which goes something like this. So now you're gonna get into the top position and you're gonna, right, rolling. Whoa, let me just get a zoom up on that real quick.
Yeah, getting that zoom up. Triceps are done. On to another arm movement. This one's gonna be for the biceps. It's gonna be the hammer curls, baby. So this one's very simple. Just gonna be stepping on the band, one side of the band, just about shoulder width. Be grasping the other side in a mid-pronated grip, so thumbs up position, and you're just curling or flexing in the elbows and squeezing in those biceps. Ooh. Now the thing about the mid-pronated grip, it is not only working the biceps brachii, but it's also working the brachioradialis, which is a muscle that's located in the forearms, but it's also working the brachialis as well, which is a muscle that's located underneath the long and short head of the biceps brachii. So there's a lot going on in this movement, in this exercise, and it's really helped with that overall arm development, because it's not only working the biceps, but also the muscle in the forearm too. So, oh yeah. And again, these suckers burn, baby. Oh, wow. Oh, really feel it here, but also feel it here. And can you zoom in on, maybe can you see it?
Yes.
I don't know if I'm like,
okay, I can finally see them.
There we go.
Okay.
So you can finally see my muscles after these years. There we go. The brachialis. Come a little bump. It's hard to see. Maybe I need a tan, maybe I need to do a little bit more defined, but either way, it's there. Sometimes you just can't see it. Man, we are at the last exercise, which is gonna be back extensions. Now, this is part of the core work, the erector muscles located in your back here, which is going to help stabilize the spine, and it's kind of works together with your abdominals to help stabilize the spine there. So we're gonna be really trying to strengthen that back, those erector muscles with the back extension. Now this exercise is a little bit different than if you would do it on a machine, but regardless, we're gonna try to get the same activation there, or backtivation, as we sometimes say. So we're just gonna wrap it around something stable. As you can see, we have the power rack here, which is a very useful tool to have in this case, and you can be really stepping away from the band to get a good resistance on it, and you're going to let the band pull you forward. You're gonna round your back slightly, and then as you pull it up, you're gonna use your lower back muscles to bring your spine into an upright and neutral position, just like so, and get a good squeeze, and get a little arch in your lower back to get a little extra contraction in those muscles there. Bring forward here, and then pull upward and squeeze. So you're really gonna have to control this motion, go real slow, and make sure you're not just using your hips like this. So if you're flexing and extending in your hips, your lower back is activated, but not as much as if you're really trying to pull your body up with those muscles there. There we go, that wraps up stage 2, day 2 of the mobility band program, upper body, and it felt damn good. Got a good pump, a lot of muscles activated. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and we're looking forward for you guys to join us again on day 3, which is gonna be lower body. So, as always,
Stay buff.
yeah.